Good morning, London, where everyone's always in a hurry and somehow still always late. Today's forecast, grey, gloomy, with just a touch of disappointment. And if you think that's bad, get used to it. It's going to be raining for the next 300 years. To perk you up this morning, we've got some great music coming your way from...
It was supposed to be a 2-week journey. But the road kept going, higher into the world's tallest mountains, across glaciers and bridges that barely hold against the wind.
Right, here goes, crossing this bridge.
Then south through deserts, coastlines, and places the outside world rarely sees.
So I had to get permission from the military in order to enter Balochistan.
Along the way, I was welcomed into homes, traditions, and communities that have quietly existed for centuries. Mountain tribes, hidden cultures, indigenous worlds still living beyond the edge of the map.
Okay, my new friends.
What was supposed to be a short trip became a year-long adventure across an entire country. So what do you say? You in?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk you through the stories on the map, because it's a lot easier to see the landscapes and the stories that you're going to work with. Here we go. This is an absolutely fantastic map. My journey was from the highest point all the way down to the lowest point, which is down here by Iran.
The highest point is by China.
It is, Carol. It's the highest border crossing in the world. And what's spectacular is that the road that takes you up there, it is the world's highest international road. It's absolutely stunning.
How long did it take you to get from the highest to the lowest point?
1 year.
Wasn't it supposed to be in like 2 weeks though? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're very right, Katie. It was supposed to be a 2-week trip. Well, what happened is I would be in one area and then locals would say, oh, have you heard of this particular mountain tribe? They live over there. And my curiosity would pull me there. So I'd go over there, and then when I was there, I'd hear about another group. And then I'd hear about another group and another and another. And before you know it, I just kept moving about. And 1 year had passed and I'd done the whole country from the mountains all the way down to the sea. 1 year living out of a backpack, not knowing where I was going to sleep that night, not knowing where I was going to wake up the next morning, hopping from place to place, city to city, village to village.
But where did you stay if you were just moving around?
I don't know a single person in this country. No family, no friends. So it was the kindness and the hospitality of strangers that took me in. Every story is unique. I'll give you an example. There was a guy I hitched with, and when we got to the location, I had nowhere to stay. And he was like, would you want to stay with me then? So I was like, yeah, all right. Another, I was in this area here, you can see it's by the Afghanistan border. This particular region, it used to be a highly conflicted zone. So this is like, I'm like 1 month into my journey. So when I entered, I went untraceable and the military couldn't trace me. And they dispatched an intelligence officer to track me down. After the intelligence officer finally found me completely safe and sound, I was so embarrassed by it that when I returned to sea level, I reached out to him to apologise, to say, I'm so sorry you got sent out on this pointless mission. And that was the beginning. It sparked the friendship between him and I, and we stayed in touch. And then, I carried on travelling, I did all sorts. He'd always say to me that Asra, he said, well, come and visit me and stay in my family home. So I did. 10 months later, I then turned up at his doorstep.
When you were tracked down, was it because they thought you were dangerous or they thought you weren't safe?
That's a good question. I guess I'll never know, yeah. Maybe. Well, I like to think it's because they were worried for my safety, didn't think I was a dangerous one.
I think my biggest question is, at any point, did you want to go home?
Oh, that's a really good question. I did have 2 breakdowns. So I was just questioning, what am I doing? Why am I here? Why do I need to be doing this backpacking journey? And every time I had a breakdown and I was this close to going home, something would happen and it would keep me there. But it is exhausting, it's absolutely exhausting, but my curiosity for the different types of people, the hidden stories, the hidden cultures, it just kept me there and kept me going, because I just knew in my heart and soul that once I packed my backpack and left, I don't know if or when I would come back to experience what I was experiencing at the time. So I knew it was now or never.
There's just so many stories that we can't fit this into just one film.
We should do a series.
Yes.
Yeah.
A 13 episode series. Some of you are seeing me for the first time, others after more than a year of silence. On this very date, 2 years ago, April 19th, 2024, I launched a documentary series. I had no idea it was about to change my life forever. Episode 1 was a big hit. Within 48 hours, I had 4 TV channels reach out, including the BBC. Thousands around the world were now suddenly following my journey.
What inspired you to go on this trip?
My grandfather was invited to Britain in the 1960s when the country was recruiting foreigners for work. So Grandad came over, and then he eventually ended up bringing his entire family from Pakistan to the UK. So when I was born, I had with me my father, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather, all in England.
Oh, okay. From my perspective, that's quite rare, because my parents are the ones that came over to England. My grandparents and my great-grandparents were all residing in Uganda.
Still in Uganda, yeah. I've normally found that as well with most people that are diaspora, the parents come over, and then the grandparents and great-grandparents are still there in the homeland.
So what about your mum?
Now, my mum, she moved from India to the UK after she married my father. So during my childhood, I was back and forth with India. So I had connection and familiarity with India, but with my dad's side being 5 generations here, you can imagine there was this huge disconnect. I actually, if I think about it, I grew up not even really understanding that I had Pakistani ethnicity. My understanding and familiarity was just England and India, that was it. And it was only until I was your age, back in the day, and I went to university, I befriended international Pakistani students, right? And they would always tease me saying, gosh, this is appalling. How is it that you've been to your mother's country but never your father's? So I would always think that, well, it's not really dad's country, is it? It's more granddad's. So then I started asking Grandad about his childhood, his upbringing, and after hearing all of Grandad's stories, that is when I decided that one day I'm going to see it for myself. Yes, you go to England, yes, from England. So I've come from England to Pakistan for the first time. My grandfather is from Pakistan.
मेरा ख्वाब था कि एक दिन मेरे जो दादा के मुल्क है मैं एक दिन जाके देखूंगी कि मेरे दादा के मुल्क कैसा है, मेरे जो अपने बंदे जो पाकिस्तानी लोग हैं वो कैसे तो
When I finally returned to England, I was brimming with stories that I had felt, lived, experienced, but I didn't know how to shape them in a way that the world could fully understand. I needed guidance and direction from somebody who lived and breathed storytelling. There was only one man for the job.
I had the absolute pleasure of teaching Asra storytelling for the screen when she was a student. She's always had the 2 most essential qualities for a presenter and filmmaker: curiosity and persistence. She also has an incredible knack for finding an original angle on a subject and then tracking it down like a ferret.
Sam, you are a well-established and incredibly talented scriptwriter.
If you say so.
Well, come on, I mean, you've trained people how to write at the BBC. You have written plays, TV, film, you've literally done it all. So it was a no-brainer for me to seek your advice when I wanted direction for my own story.
Well, I'm glad you did. Fundamentally, it's very simple advice, is that you have to show people what really matters rather than tell them what you've done.
I took all of your advice, applied it, released my very first episode, and as we know now, it took off. Did you expect episode 1 to take off the way that it did?
I thought if you were brave enough, it would be extraordinary. And you had something which could go a long, long way. It could get even bigger, and it's getting bigger, isn't it?
It is.
So, Asra, what made you want to tell this story?
I had backpacked from sea level. I'd gone up into the Himalayas. I'd now gone through the Himalayas into the world's second tallest mountain range, which is...
Himalayas? No.
After the Himalayas. I'm testing your knowledge now.
I don't know what the Himalayas...
It's a mountain range no one ever knows about.
No, I know nothing.
It's called the Karakoram. And I'm in this absolutely incredibly beautiful valley, very deep in the Karakoram, all the way up north near the China border.
Right.
My guest house was in a residential area, home to one of the most unique and rarest indigenous groups left on planet Earth.
Burusha.
The Burusha people, yes. The Burusha people, they live in pockets throughout the Himalayas and in the Karakoram. So I'm now in a pocket in the Karakoram. They have their own culture, their language is an endangered language. So I was learning all of these things whilst I was there amongst them. So they were my life's first ever exposure to indigenous people and culture.
Right. Why did you go there?
It was part of my backpacking journey.
Well, had you decided that before you left, that you were going to meet these people?
No, I was already in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So that's why I just kept hopping.
As you
As you do, yeah.
I was just in the Himalayas. I thought I'd pop down and see the tribes. You know.
Absolutely, yeah, as you do on a casual Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, of course.
So as you can imagine, I'm excited to explore every day, and I'm doing just that. And every day when I'd leave my guest house to explore, I'd cross this pathway that was home to a brother and sister. So they'd be on their balcony and they would shout down to me to greet me, and I'd always greet them back. And it became this daily routine. And they would wait that, oh, that English girl's going to pass today, we're going to greet her.
Did they know your name, or was it just that English girl?
Initially it was that English girl, and then I actually said to them, can you stop calling me English girl? I actually have a name. So I introduced them. I would sometimes have a natter. It started off initially of just saying hello, and they were like, oh, the English girl, which is actually Angres. They were like, oh, the Angres. So I do have a name, you know, this is Asra. So then we started having more of a natter day by day. I then fall horrifically poorly. It's the poorest I've ever been in my life. I don't think I've ever been that unwell in my life. Couldn't understand what was going wrong with me either. I remember being so cold, it felt as though there was ice inside my bone in the bottom part of both of my legs. But I remember not being able to get warm. I was just so cold. My fever was sky high. I was physically being sick. I was vomiting. I think that was probably because my body was under so much stress. And I was completely alone in this guest house, getting weaker and weaker day by day.
Were you scared?
I was terrified. Absolutely petrified.
So who are you staying with?
I'm in a random guest house all on my own. Now you can imagine the brother and sister. They're waiting. The brother and sister are on the balcony waiting that, oh, that English girl's going to come today, we're going to greet her. One day goes by, they don't see me. 2 days pass and there's no sign of me. On the third day, the brother and sister were so concerned, they started asking around the village for me. Yes, and then they found me in my guest house. They turned up, saw me there, absolutely withering away, and were just so very concerned. They were mortified to see my state. They ran back home, informed their parents, informed all of the locals. So news had now spread that there's a girl from England who's completely alone in a guest house and she's very, very unwell. So now the locals stepped in. with food, medicine, water, and the locals started nursing me back to health. And then eventually what happened is that one of the local families, they moved me from my guest house into their home. And they said, okay, no, you don't stay in the guest house on your own. You are our daughter. This is your home and you stay here.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
It is, yes. I look back and I still can't believe something like that happened with my life.
Beautiful, totally beautiful. It shows you what human beings are really like, not the idiots who run the world.
That is very true. I agree with that.
Hello, honey bunny. ये मेरी बहन है और ये मेरी सबसे छोटी बहन ये हमारा रूम है ये मैं हूँ Adios. Okay, bye. See you.
It takes me around 10 days to get better, and then I ended up living with them for a month. So I became very close to that family. I fondly refer to them as my mountain family. The mother and father of the house, I refer to them as mum and dad, my mountain mother, mountain father. I've been back 3 times to see them since. Now my mountain mother is whom I would spend the most time with. My life integrated into hers. I'd wake up with her and would go to the farm together to do the farming, where we'd chop the grass by hand, put it in the basket. I'd carry the basket on my back and we'd go feed the animals. And then we're doing the cooking, the cleaning, meeting her friends. I just became very integrated in her life. And I would take my camera with me because of my film and TV background and being taught by somebody like yourself. I've always had my camera with me, but never doing anything professionally to a proper high level. It was just making silly little videos. And my mother would see me making all these videos and she'd encourage it. So film this and film that, take a video of that, take a video of that. And then one day she turned to me and she said, why are you not the BBC? You know, when I first met you, I thought you were the BBC.
Oh, wow.
And it made me laugh because, bearing in mind, this is a lady who's never been to school a day in her life, but she knows about the BBC and all these major corporations because they all go there. Because remember, this is a very unique and rare indigenous group in an incredibly picturesque, beautiful, remote valley. So my mountain mother said to me, she said, for years, we see all these big companies and big institutions come here and profit off us, and we are still poor. I would be proud if my own daughter made something from this. So because of her, when I got back to England, after seeking your advice as well, I made my first ever documentary. I'd never done anything in the documentary genre before. This was my first one. I released it on YouTube, and the rest is history.
It is, and it's continuing history too.
High five on people's birthday. I'm with my mum now, look at this, and just look at how beautiful this view is. I still have to pinch myself. This is where I live and all this beautiful scenery. And this is my home.
Sam, this was episode 4 of my series, and it was the last story I shared with the world before I had a meltdown because I just couldn't cope with the workload. And I also understood that if I was going to give every story the justice that it deserved, I needed scale and manpower. I couldn't do it all by myself.
Got it. I remember. You went back to the BBC.
And would you believe, a senior BBC journalist, she very kindly backed my project and started speaking to colleges and universities on my behalf to get me the manpower that I needed. Yes, and I was being invited in to present my project to the students. And just when I thought things couldn't get any better, in swooped a lady who was never a part of my original story and then ended up taking one of the leading roles.
Who?
I watched Asra's first episode and I was blown away. The quality of her storytelling, her presence on camera, I knew she was a talent in the making, and I just knew I needed to support her. My name is Laura Taylor and I'm the founder of the Andy Taylor Foundation. It was 12 years ago and my husband Andy came home from work. He really excited. He told me he had a new business idea and there was this thing called YouTube. It was going to be really big. I didn't even know what YouTube was. We had a toddler. It was not a good time to quit his job, but I could see I needed to sit and listen. So he started talking and it didn't take long before I was totally convinced.
Oh wow, so I'm guessing that at the time it was just you and your husband Andy sitting at your kitchen table discussing and brainstorming company names.
Yeah.
So where did Little Dot come from?
Little Dot stuck quite quickly. His late mother was Dorothy Dot. She was little. She was 4'11".
No way. She was teeny tiny like me then.
Teeny tiny. He was only 5'6".
Oh wow.
Family trait. It was also meaningful because it's the little red dot on the camera when cameras roll. Oh. And it was all about content and storytelling.
So where did it go from there?
He, a co-founder, and 3 of them set up in a small basement office in London. Fast forward 12 years, there's now nearly 500 of them.
Oh, wow.
London, LA, Australia, Germany. It's been incredible.
I'm an absolute sucker for stories like that. I think there's something so incredibly beautiful and profound when you start very small with an idea, but you have big vision and you turn up every day with just heart, soul, grit, work ethic. And now look, from the kitchen table to where you've grown to, where did the Andy Taylor Foundation come from then?
As Little Dot was growing so quickly, we were opening up in Los Angeles and we were going to move there, myself, Andy and the kids, so he could really push the business forward. It was about 5 weeks before we were due to leave and he had a massive seizure in the street, completely out of the blue. We couldn't go at all. 18 months later, he'd passed away. We found out he had a brain tumour and he'd passed away. But before he passed away, he and lots of other people in the industry were having conversations and he wanted to launch a charity to help underrepresented young people get roles in the media, which was the world that he loved.
How did you meet Lara?
I was attending a television conference at the British Film Institute.
Bit flash.
Not as flash as you, okay, Mr. BAFTA. It was the end of the day and the organiser wanted to take a group photo. So she said, gather round ladies, group photo.
Ladies?
It was a women's conference.
Oh, okay.
So as over 200 women shuffled together for this group photo, lo and behold, can you guess who I end up next to?
Lara. Da-da-da.
Andy loved his work and he wanted more people to get to experience the joy of work that he had. And that's why meeting you was interesting, because you were the sort of project that he would have wanted to push forward. He loved charismatic people, he loved great stories, he loved adventure, he loved risk, and I knew he would have supported it, and I absolutely wanted to as well. I could see why you were getting endorsements from big industry professionals, but I could also see when I was speaking to you that you just needed more manpower. You needed some scale so that we could get the story out to the public.
This is why my chance encounter with you means so much to me, because I agree with you. I really do believe in my work, but I was, as you said, just lacking the scale, which is why I was so touched when you swooped in out of nowhere. You didn't waste any time and you immediately connected me with the University of Warwick.
My name is Dr. Heidi Ashton. I'm an Associate Professor of Cultural and Creative Ecologies at the University of Warwick. There is your absolutely infectious enthusiasm. When you came and met the students and you just had this brilliant way of telling stories and engaging the audience, I could see immediately how much the students could gain from that.
I remember my first day here like it was yesterday. As I was driving in, I remember peeking out the window going, oh, this is so cool, because it whisked me back and I felt like I was a student all over again, and that excitement came back. So you had lined up 2 back-to-back presentations for me.
Yeah.
So the first group I presented to, do you remember I went 40 minutes into their lunch break? Nobody moved.
We didn't want to stop you, you were on a roll.
And the only reason you had to stop me is because you had organised a second group. So you walked in and said, Asra, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to wrap this up. But then even when I was packing all my things, they were queuing up to speak to me.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. It's just absolutely infectious. And the students just wanted to be a part of it.
A very interesting fact about you is you have actually taught in the capital city of Pakistan. How did that come about? That's just so random. I'm not going to think that when I meet you. So how did that come about?
No, I've done some random things. They needed somebody to go out and be a speaker. And nobody in my department wanted to go to Pakistan at that time because it was a little bit, there was
a time of tension.
Yeah, it was a time of great tension. I was like, yeah, I'll go, that sounds great. It's a place that I would never normally go, right? What a wonderful opportunity to go to a new country and to understand a different culture. So yeah, I jumped at it, and this pashmina is something that they gave me while I was there. So
this is from the city of Islamabad.
Yeah, they gave it to me as a gift. So, but what I didn't know really, and certainly didn't see, was the amazing kind of mountainous regions that you bring. So I just love your series because there's that just makes me want to go back now and
Definitely should. Do you remember, as you were walking me up to meet the second years, the second group I was presenting to, you said to me, okay, Asra, just to prep you, they're not going to be as chatty as the first group. So I thought, okay, no worries, I can try and work a bit harder and get them to open up. And then they wouldn't stop talking. The hands kept going up in the air and they kept asking questions. Do you remember at the end when everyone went home, you turned to me and said, I've never seen them like that before.
I hadn't. It was brilliant. It was really wonderful. It was something very magical about the way that you tell stories and engage people, and you're a fantastic educator, and that's something that I don't have. It's something that I watched in awe as you did. No, it is something that you bring to that really engages young people, and so that is so inspiring. It's inspiring for me, but it's also inspiring for the students. So it was just so wonderful. I'm so grateful to you and to Lara for introducing us, because you don't see that very often, and to have that for our students is just amazing, and to have you as part of our course is just, really fantastic.
I think it's really sweet that your grandfather inspired this story, because for me, I'm really close with my grandparents. They're really special to me. So what does your grandfather think about it all?
Today is Grandad's birthday. He's having his birthday breakfast. Happy birthday, Dada Jan. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to the Happy birthday to you. Amen.
Hooray!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Same to you.
Happy birthday to Grandad.
Grandad just said same to you. Did you hear it? Thank you, Dada Jan.
Happy birthday to us.
Today, I'm 19 years old. Very happy.
Grandad passed away at the fabulous age of 91 in 2020. And my Pakistan journey started shortly after in 2021. It's a great shame that Grandad just missed out on witnessing his granddaughter explore his motherland. It's a great pity that he'll never hear any of the stories that you're about to hear.
Let's pick.
Is this a treasure chest?
No, I'm a non-tea drinker, so I have a ton of other choices.
Oh, gosh, you've got the whole shebang in here. What's your favourite?
I think today I'm quite feeling a relax, maybe.
Okay. I don't think I'll go for a relax because I'll probably fall asleep on you.
Oh yeah, well let's not have that.
What would you?
Turmeric, ginger and orange, bit of morning berry. Quite good.
Okay, this will perk me up, won't it? I'll go for this then.
Okie doke.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Careful, it's a bit hot. I tell you what, let's sit on the cosy chairs.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Just get ourselves comfy for a bit of a chat.
Oh, these are nice seats.
Puffy.
You've got a really lovely home.
Aww.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm glad you're here. It's nice to see you in person.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Cheers.
I have got to show you how it is that I ended up at that event where you and I met.
Okay.
It all started from an email. Have I shown you this before? Okay.
No.
A lady whom is very dear to me. I consider her a mentor of mine. I just wake up one day and I see this email from her. Hello, Asra. I hope all's well with you.
I wondered if you'd signed up for the Wonder Women conference this year. And then she sent the link. I didn't know if I could be bothered to trek all the way down to London for this event, but because it was her and she was encouraging me to go, I thought, okay, if Kerry's saying it, then it must be good. So I almost didn't go, but I signed up simply because it was Kerry.
I nearly didn't go as well. So yeah, really nearly didn't go.
My gosh, this is... So both of us were last minute, and then we ended up meeting in a group photo. Everything just happened so quickly. I remember you saying that Andy would have loved to have supported a series like mine. Why would you say that is?
I think he sort of knew it when he saw it. He loved documentary. He just loved finding people, investing in people, opening doors for people, removing barriers, and I guess that is at the heart of the foundation. And I don't know, I just had that gut feeling that you can't quite describe. So what have you decided to call the series and why?
When the team and I began title searching for our 13-episode series, we kept returning to the same themes of identity, heritage, and a part of myself that long remained unknown.
Because there was something in your life which you needed to explore. And we found out later that it's all about you having a family from two sides of a kind of cultural divide, which is interesting, one of which you hadn't explored. The plot fundamentally says Asra took a risk. The story says, why did she take the risk? What was it that she wanted to know? What did she want to find out? There was a bit of you, a bit of your emotional life, makeup, structure, which was missing. And you had to find it. You may not have known that at the time, that's why.
You're absolutely right, I didn't know that at the time.
No, why would you?
And it's through uncovering the stories of others that I eventually discover my own.
I'm both delighted and excited.
The Andy Taylor Foundation are thrilled to present.
We are delighted at the University of Warwick
to present,
to bring to you,
Discovering
the Forgotten.
The Forgotten.
Forgotten.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an extraordinary amount of hard work over a 6-month production, we are honoured to bring you Discovering the Forgotten Half.
We've got 8 stories coming up.
What's spectacular about this region here is the world's top 3 tallest and mightiest mountain ranges fall here. The world's #1 mountain range, the highest one.
The range, you all know, the biggest one, even bigger.
I remember the Himalayas.
Himalayas, yes.
Then you've got, you're very right, the second tallest.
Karakoram.
Right, the world's 3rd tallest mountain range, which is...
Does it say?
Stop cheating! I don't think it is here. Okay. No, it's not. Oh, no, it is. Right up there, look.
Oh, Hindu Kush.
Yes.
That's Karakoram, Hindu Kush. That's just all hot. That's hot. And then desert.
That's very hot.
Yeah, very, very hot.
So I'd gone through the Himalayas, into the Karakoram, and then returned to sea level through the Hindu Kush.
Where did you fly into when you first?
Capital.
Yeah.
So Islamabad was absolutely stunning because it is a city that's at the foothills of the Himalayas. So it's just surrounded, the Himalayas is very, very green. So it's just surrounded by this green, it's absolutely stunning. Karachi is the 12th largest city in the world. So what I had done is to explore the 5 provinces, I used Islamabad and Karachi as a base.
The remaining 8 stories of this series will release every Sunday right here on this channel. Lena, your story is the first one that whisks us away from the mountains and into dramatically different scenery. You are over here in the province Sindh.
Okay, and what happens here?
We are visiting religious minorities.
So even though Pakistan is a majority Muslim country, you've got pockets of Christians, pockets of Hindus. There are 2 stories that happen here in Sindh, and then the next story is here, which is where you come in, Charlotte.
This region here, which is one of the most militarised regions in the world, Balochistan.
Locals struggle to get in. A foreigner, see you later, mate. You're not getting in. Because I was like, come on, man, I've come this far. I can't leave without seeing the lowest point. I've done the highest, I've got to do the lowest. So I was negotiating really hard back and forth with the military for about a month.
When you look at this from when it started to where it is now, a 6-month period, what stands out the most to you?
Ooh. Deep question, I know. You're going to have to mull over the last 6 months. Because there's been so much that's happened.
Yeah,
I'm struggling to pinpoint one thing.
Yeah.
That our goal was to get you some scale and some resource to get your story out quicker, so more people could enjoy it. And I'm sat here today with some of your crew, and I can see
as well.
I know, and just hearing what a fabulous experience they're having, knowing that we're supporting you because we thought you're a talent who deserves supporting, but also supporting young creatives of the future to get an opportunity on a project like this.
The growth and the development of the students. And it's not something we can do in a teaching session, in a lecture. We can't do that. What it brings to our students and the ones who've been lucky enough to be involved in this is just, it's a life experience and it's life skills.
I do agree with you, because there are some things in life that you can only develop and grow within by being in the trenches. You can't study it out of books. You can't sit in a seminar. You've got to be in the trenches. You've got to roll your sleeves up and get stuck in. So because I started off in the mountains, you know Hunza is where I fell poorly. The family take me in. I've now got a mountain mother, a mountain father. When it was time to leave, I made a promise that before I fly back to London, I will return to say goodbye. So I get to the lowest point, hooray, my goal is ticked off. You're very right, but so now I'm ready to go back to London. I'm done, man. I've done mountains to the sea. I'm tired, I'm knackered. It's been 10 months. But I made a promise.
So from the lowest point at the Arabian Sea, I began heading back to the roof of the world. But not in search of a destination this time, but to keep my word.
Oh, my baby recognized me.
This was a story that a lot of people were so shocked by. They said, oh my goodness, I cannot begin to imagine how much love you must have received, that from Gwadar you went all the way back to the China border. So this is now, Zoe, where you come in.
After an incredibly teary goodbye, my journey comes to an end, and so will ours, with discovering the forgotten half.
The ending, the very final one, is here, and everyone cries. It's very, very emotional, because they cannot believe that after 1 year I returned, and I actually fulfilled my promise. I stuck to my word, and then I say goodbye, and then it's time to go back to England.
We'll then return to sea level for our grand finale on Sunday, June the 14th. Have the Andy Taylor Foundation ever supported a project like mine?
No, not at all.
Oh,
actually.
really? Am I the first one?
Yeah. And actually, when we first met...
I'm honoured, by the way.
Well, in truth, I threw my own personal kind of weight and connections behind you initially, because...
Well, that's why it happened so quickly, because it was you personally doing it.
Yeah, so we wouldn't have had time to go through the foundation procedures, but I could see that time was of the essence, really. But as it's evolved and it's grown and seen what a fantastic thing it is, I went to the foundation formally.
Have I got the official Andy Taylor Foundation stamp?
You
there?
do, because you are bringing forward new talent and giving them real life work experience, and that's what we're all about.
It's so very kind of all of you, the professional services team, to support me so much, especially yourself, Rob, Keith.
Well, we feel just really lucky that you came and that you involved the students with that. So the least we could do was provide you with what you needed to support you in that journey.
Seeing as the Andy Taylor Foundation are supporting a project like mine for the first time, as you said, what do you think that Discovering the Forgotten Half has the potential to become? What do you hope for us?
Yeah, I hope that lots and lots of people get to experience the joy that jumps off the screen as you explore Pakistan and the Pakistani people. I hope that it both educates and entertains, because it certainly did for me. And for you personally, I hope it's a springboard to a bigger career, wherever that may take. Wherever it is, I'll be cheering from the sidelines.
This is my fondest memory of you. So when I think of you, I think of this memory. My entire life, I've heard of climbing up the ladder, but what you shared is to turn round instead and hold the ladder downwards, allowing others to come up. This is all still really crazy to me. I'm still trying to make sense of it all, because the Andy Taylor Foundation, you were never a part of my original story, but
you've ended up becoming the backbone and the foundation to bringing this series to life. I have to ask, if Andy was here today, what do you think he would say?
He'd say, well done. He'd say, he hopes your views blow up.
I'd say that.
Yeah.
I hope so too.
He'd say it's exactly the sort of thing the foundation should be doing, and I suspect he's cheering you on from up there.
It says Daddy Shark.
Daddy Shark, do. We love you, do.
Good God, Lee.
Goodness me, this is going to take me a week to read. How tall is your daddy? Not very tall. Very little. What is daddy good at? Getting awards.
Daddy, read this one.
Hope you have an amazing Father's Day.
What is Daddy not
Singing.
It is the same with my grandfather because he was the inspiration behind this entire trip, and it is a great shame for me that neither Andy nor my grandfather will get to see what it's become.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're very proud.
आपने कहा कि फिल्म तो अच्छी निकलनी चाहिए कि हमने कितनी
मेहनत की। हाँ,
बहुत मेहनत की हमने।
बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत है, कोई आसान काम नहीं है ये।
सही बात है, फिल्म बनाना कोई आसान काम नहीं है ना।
क्यों कि उसका ऑर्गेनाइज करना, उसका सेट करना, ये करना, वो करना, तो ये कोई आसान नहीं बात है। ये आसान बात नहीं है, ये बड़ी मेहनत की और बड़े दूरअंदेशी की चीज़ है जो ये करते आदमी।
It would have been so wonderful had he just known that somebody from his family travelled his entire homeland from the mountains all the way down to the sea and loved it.
लेकिन इसकी बड़ी मेहनत है, हम शाबाश कहेंगे, मैं दाद देता हूँ, जिंदाबाद।
जब फिल्म बन जाएंगी ना तब आप शाबाश कहना।
हाँ नहीं,
अच्छा?
ये शाबाश आ गया ना बीच में। ये शाबाश जो है, ये उसमें जब लाओगी तो वो ये अल्फाज आएंगे बीच।
जी, सही बात है।
And that the inspiration that he sparked within me turned into this huge scale production that's now completely changed my life. But I guess some things are just never meant to be.
क्या काम है जो तुमने नहीं किया? जिंदाबाद।
Almost everybody on the planet is looking for themselves in one way or the other. And we're all trying to find who we really are, and so we can live the life we really want to lead. And all stories are about choice, where you could choose to stay in what was all your ordinary world, or go for something crazy, extraordinary, and take risks. Emotionally, physically, mentally, and you chose, that's why your story works, because fundamentally you chose to take a risk. The human condition is all about, do I dare take the risk, or do I stay where I am? People do this every day of their lives, with relationships. They think, this person's exciting, but they're at risk. Do I take it on, or do I stay where I am? They're offered jobs where they might lose some money, but they either take it on or they stay where they are. And the world divides into those who stay where they are, perfectly safe, nothing wrong with it, and those who take risks. Stories only exist the moment somebody takes a risk.
So is that quite normal then? Me not knowing at the time why I had gone out and why this supposed 2-week trip had turned into 1 year, and I just stayed there for the entire year, and not knowing at the time, and even not really knowing after I got back. I think it's only through time I've started to understand what the real reason, the real purpose was of me going out in the first place and then staying for as long as I did.
Well, essentially storytelling at its core is about knowing what somebody wants, and they find out what they need. People do not know essentially what they need. Characters and people in life do not know what they need. They may know what they want, but they find out by the experience what they need. That's what you did. You knew what you wanted, but you didn't know what you needed. I guess you found that out now, to an extent. There's plenty more to find out. There is always more.
What I love the most about you is that it's been over a decade since you taught me, since I was your ever so eager student, and even over a decade later, you're still here in my life, you're mentoring, you coach, you support, you always back everything that I do. What advice do you have for me
moving forward once discovering the forgotten half is over?
Risk more, attempt anything you think is impossible, and challenge yourself at every point, and never take no for an answer.
So, as I said on this very date 2 years ago, April 19th, 2024. So, ladies and gents, shukriya for being here. Welcome aboard this journey with me. Welcome aboard this journey with us. I promise you, discovering the forgotten half will be a series that will stay in your heart forever. There was only one man for the job. Enter Sam Snape.
We're down here.
East London. He's from Stratford.
We're in Ripper territory. This is Ripper territory, mate. This is, this is Whitechapel Ripper territory, you know.
Whitechapel, yeah.
Whitechapel, isn't it?
See, there's a scene 4, take 7.
Okay.
Action.
I shall just wait. You can't see action if you're still walking. He's going to be doing cartwheels next. Action, boom, 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 action, yeah.
Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, bum.
Sorry, I'm going right by your face. I felt really cool doing that.
No, let's go in this way, No, don't decide for it. London better be working.
If you lean forward, that's it. And then, where would I go?
To our green screen, folks. This is going to be the portal. Okay. So, I'm going to squat.
I'm rolling.
This better be worth it.
And I was blown away. And I can't remember what I'm supposed to be saying. I've only read this one. Switch it off, switch it off.
I'm an associate professor and I can't remember my title. Wait, I knew that was going to happen. Take 2.
From somebody who lived and breathed storytelling.
I can't do it now. I've forgotten it. Hang on.
To bring to you the forgotten half. Is that right?
Discovering
the forgotten half.
Yeah.
Discovering the forgotten past.
Half.
What?
Discovering the forgotten.
Forgotten the discovery. Discovering the forgotten half. Discovering the forgotten half. We're going to discover things today.
I don't want to block the slide though. In case you like, point like this. Ready? My grandfather moved, forgot me first line.
I don't like the way I said that.
That was fantastic. That was what I actually wanted for the advice. Themes of heritage, identity. No, come on.
Scene 4, take 10.
Are we really on take 10? Oh my god!
Stop.
Oh, okay, got it.
I was
like, we're not that bad. We're pretty decent actually.
The interview is one scene.
Okay, right.
और ये ज़माना जो है ये हमेशा याद करता रहेगा, इस चीज़ को दोहराता रहेगा. तो मैं ये कहूँगा कि इनके मैं दाद दिए बगैर नहीं रहता कि ये शानदार जिंदाबाद बहुत खूब.